They've made Gambit in Warframe? What do you mean Gambit's in Warframe? What the hell are you talking about? DE announcing what seems like Warframe Gambit right now? PvP, PvE? Are you kidding? Hold on, I'm just gonna take a peek, boys. I'm just gonna take a peek.
Which has a
Hold on, let me just see this real fast, boys.
Reload, you can essentially skip it just by walking on one of those. On one of those, you immediately reload with that type. So it's pretty good for any weapons with like long reloads. Is really good for that.
And it's good when I go into a mission and I realize I have the wrong build equipped, and I can just throw magnetic on top and go into the purpose mission, and I'm ready to go.
Profit taker players just lost.
Drool.
They lost November.
Here's a little boost for you. Oops, never mind.
Connor!
So they have the assassination that you gotta do? So you do 3 assassinations or you get 3 phases?
All right.
No, it's 3 separate assassinations, right?
Pick the wrong set of enemies.
Honestly, yeah.
And then you go for a data burn?
Okay,
So what is the
they
data
killed us
burn? Like,
already
is it a
before we
defense
could see it,
mission?
but, you know, we're behind, so we had to.
Yeah, I know.
So what do? You gotta go kill the 3 guys on the side, just like you would in Gambit, and then you gotta defend something in the middle? Am I misunderstanding this? Like, I just want to see exactly, like, do they explain it?
An optional versus.
Here we go.
Lower stakes, less stressful. You can still play it that way.
That's great.
But right now, we're gonna go.
Yeah, we're gonna do it live.
Hold on, whoa, what is this?
Join in with my squad of 4.
Gambit?
So here
I
go.
can't run from it,
This
even in
is
here.
our face-off game mode with my crew.
All right.
This is a way to earn Conclave standing.
You're gonna get some.
Gambit in Warframe before GTA 6? Oh my god, Mom Slayer, what?
Everything is gonna be fine. If it crashes, it's dead.
Better
Everything's
Gambit.
gonna be
Hey, Gambit's fucking good. Shut up.
Whip.
Yeah.
What it is, it's a race. You have.
Yeah, it's a race,
that
okay.
You're gonna be completing.
It's a race, but can you invade? You said no PvP, so that's the thing, right? This is Gambit's or this is Warframe's version of Gambit, right? So I wouldn't imagine there would actually be any PvP. So what it is it is a race, which is really fucking cool. Because in Warframe, the whole point of optimization is so you can do shit faster and do it more efficiently. That way you get loot faster, right? That way you can get whatever you want to do. You get all the loot, then you go craft the items, or you just farm the fuck out of it in the most efficient way possible. Sometimes it's for flexing, but it's mostly for that. And something like this is kind of cool. If it turns out to be really lucrative in terms of loot, which I hope there's a variety of loot, it'd be kind of cool if they had like loot rotations, or if you could focus your own loot pool. That way people do this all the time, and they actually have like a visual, like a more of a, I think more of like a direct incentive to be extremely efficient. People already race in public captures. Yeah, I mean, they already race in publics, of course they do, but what I'm saying is, this provides a competitive advantage to Warframe that isn't otherwise there 9 times out of 10. Like, most of the time people are just fucking chilling. But you know, people who go into this, you're not gonna see the twerking Octavia who's just AoEing a bunch of fucking enemies. You're gonna see people who are running around as fast as humanly possible and blowing shit up on the way there. So it's kind of cool because it does take those people who want to clear as fast as humanly possible in Warframe, and it gives them a purpose, man. It gives them more of another evergreen avenue to play the game. I think it's cool. If that's what it is, which I'm hoping it is, man. It sounds cool, man. Like freaking race. What's the loot at the end though? Like, what is it? I think they said arcanes is what it is, like new arcanes. You have to work as a team to win? Yeah, probably. Probably. Doesn't Warframe have a PvP community? I guess that's like saying, like Fallout has a PvP community. Yeah, sure, there are like 2 people who who do it. But I wouldn't say there's a community for it at all. No, not really, man. Like, people act like there is, but there are, I would say like 99% of the time, if you go into the, I forget what it's called, I'm drawing a blank, but if you go into the PvP mode for Warframe, there's nobody in there.
And while we're doing this, just as a heads up, we have made great improvements to Motorcycle. You can summon them in air now. There's a lot of usability improvements.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Did you fix the steering? Did you fix steering? No,
My
no,
riding,
they did
everyone's-
not. They will not do
everyone's
it.
having a good
It
day.
is the way it is then. It's stuck like that.
So our
That's
first
okay.
objective is exterminate, and we're
There are avid PvP advocates. That's really surprising. That's because Warframe doesn't... Warframe's PvP isn't as complete as World of Warcraft. Like, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, Rift, Destiny, like, they all have things in the game that incentivize you to play PvP. Warframe has, like, a couple of mods or whatever cosmetics in PvP, and other than that is nothing else. Like, it doesn't actually make any sense in Warframe to play PvP, because there are abilities that just don't work because they disable them because they don't want to balance it. They don't balance, right? So there's no balance. Some shit just doesn't work, and I mean, that's it. And because of that, nobody plays it. Like, I can go into PvP right now on Kalervo and one-shot somebody with my 2. Which, if you guys don't know, is the spinning blades. It sends it out to up to 3 targets, 3 blades per, because I think I get 9 blades, and I get overshield. So what that does is it can one-shot a player pretty much all the time. It can almost always one-shot a player. And that's just a really good example of, like, really good energy economy. Like, it's a really efficient ability because I can throw it out and kill 3 enemies. Like, it's stupid. It's really efficient in PvP. And there are a bunch of abilities like that. And let's say, like, Protea's turrets, her 2, right? Her turrets do not target players in PvP and Warframe. Like, they just don't work. So nobody plays it. Like nobody fucking plays it, and it's because it's bad. Like, I was streaming one day, and I said, you know what, let's try some PvP. And Ginger jumped in with me, and Darth Muffin jumped in, but they did not join my party. They just joined PvP, and because we were literally the only people in Warframe playing it, we all got in the same match, and it was just us 3 running around in a free-for-all, a rumble equivalent. Do you prefer loot chasing structure of Warframe or Destiny? Destiny. I prefer the loot chasing structure in Destiny much more than Warframe. And as satisfying as Warframe can be, I heavily prefer getting an item over getting a currency or loot or like nuggets, right? Like, would you rather find $100 bill or $101 bills? Like, I would rather just find a $100 bill. For the sake of convenience, right? And just because it feels bigger, it feels better. It's immediate, it feels impactful to me. I don't know. Like, I'd rather get the fucking gun than having to go buy the gun and then wait a whole day to get the gun. Right? You get the loot quicker in Destiny as well. You have to craft the weapon in Warframe. I like crafting. I like crafting in Warframe. Like, I honestly don't mind the immersion of putting something onto craft and then it takes some time. I think 3 days is absurd. I think 24 hours is absurd. But taking like an hour to craft and like you see it being made in the machine, it's kind of cool and it's immersive for me. I don't know, man. Like, I think it's sick. I think it's kind of sweet. Kind of like an Ark Survival Evolved. You know, you make 1,000 foundations. Probably not. You probably make like 5. But then you see them craft and then they all, like, they have their different craft times and shit. I like it. You know? But I think it's too long, and it just doesn't feel as good. You know, it just doesn't feel as good. It sounds like the competitive PvP rewards, where you can only focus a limited number of competitive items per week. Yeah, but they're, like Destiny has some balancing around PvP. Like, Warframe is not made with PvP in mind at all. Like, not even a little bit. Not even in the slightest. I think they had it in there because people were probably asking for it, and then now it's just dead. And I don't think Warframe should have a PvP scene. Like, an actual head-on, player-to-player PvP just doesn't make sense for what the game culture is. For that game specifically. It just doesn't make any sense. It goes against everything the player base kind of plays Warframe for, right? No, and you won't experience anything like that in Warframe. It's the same respect, like, you won't experience Warframe in Destiny 9 times out of 10. And that's because, while they are similar in a lot of ways, they are 2 completely different games. And I've said this a lot, but, like, Warframe, in my mind, is futuristic shooter Diablo, right? And Destiny 2 is shooter Rift. WoW. You know, they're 2 completely different games. They have a lot of overlapping similarities, but I think they serve 2 completely different purposes, which is exactly why you can play both games shit. It's exactly why you can play both games in the same day, and it doesn't feel like you're doing the same thing. But I have a strong feeling that if you took a break from Destiny and you went and played WoW or Rift or maybe Final Fantasy 14, I haven't played it, so I don't know. You would definitely feel like you're doing a lot of the same things with a different skin or like with a different aesthetic, right? But you still have all your activities sectioned off. Sure, they're different. They have different names. They go about it differently, but it's ultimately a very similar structure. Where Warframe and D2 were just very different, you know? Yeah, exactly. It's apple to oranges. Sure. Yeah, for sure.